messing around with copper, doing water, fountains and sculptures and stuff. And those colors, they're so prominent in the copper. They're really something. And I found out about this place up in Arkansas. They're now in this Mountain View, Arkansas, at the Craft Village in Mountain View. It's got Skip and Rachel Matthews, and they do what they call flame painting. They do. You saw. I passed that around. There's a little bit of an idea of what they do, just on the beginner's level. If you went to that link, follow that link that I said on the email, then you'll have a much better idea of what they can do and what can be done with this. Now, it's Skip. He was playing with copper and just watched the colors. Decided 35 years ago he wanted to learn how to see if he could control them in some form or fashion. And so 15,000 butterflies later, they're teaching. And they can really, if you look at that website, it's beyond comprehension how they can do what they do. It takes an awful lot of time. And all it's done is flame painting. It's just done with the heat. It's using the oxidation from the copper to make these colors. Now, as I put that, the reason I went up there is I wanted to see if that's something I might be able to do, because as the ravages of age catch up to you, you're not going to be able to swing a damn hammer all day long any longer. So I wanted to have something that I was interested in doing. So I was, but I'm still not old enough to quit hammering. I can still hammer. I think it was about 5 hours last month. So I felt real good about that. So I haven't gotten into the really explored or experimented with the flame painting. So I've got a lot to learn, and really a lot to learn. Now, I've watched people. I started to get ready for this. I was watching other people on YouTube, how they were doing it, and you can see this is just a piece of plain copper, in a torch, and you got those folks up there. She said, well, I've just been learning how to do this for the last 30 minutes, and this is cool. That's true. She's been doing it for 30 minutes. Somebody else they're teaching classes on how to do it, but they're doing it with this, and you can not prepare anything. You can just, and you can see how these colors, even dirt. Now, y'all are in the back. I really would recommend moving up, because you're not going to see shit from back there. I think it's 24 gauge, they call it. Yeah. It's thinner copper, right? Yeah. Right. That's true. So you can see by the heat what it does. It makes colors in here. And one of the things is, and as the heat progresses, the colors change. And now, and it'll go to right. And so there's layers of cover of oxidation on here, which is creating the colors, the oxidation and such. And I'm going to show you. I'm going to go. I'm doing this is where what got us started on this. Now you can see this. This is one of the hotter colors here. And what you wind up doing is you get the hot. Well, I'll go into more detail like that, but you can take it and watch how you. You can see it starting to, and you have to be real cautious depending on what colors you're trying to get about the heat, because you can get past that color in a hurry. Now watch this.
You undo and start over?
A little bit. Basically, yeah, so you can do that in. Now you can, I'm going to go into more detail. Well, while I'm here, I might as well. This is an unclean piece of copper. It's not cleaned at all. One of the keys to this is having clean copper, and we'll deal with that. But that's the starting point. It's the oxidation level on this thing. This is where the most oxygen is still sitting on the oxidation is sitting on the copper, and from there you work your way back. for the different colors, and you have to understand which colors come at which heat. Here's the hottest colors. Here's the coolest colors. All the way down, there's 14 different colors that you can achieve in there on any given day, depending on too many things. You might only be able to accomplish 4 colors, and every day is going to be different. So this is the worst possible conditions right now with 67% humidity to try to do copper. And if you're in an enclosed location with there's breeze, everything else, if you're in an enclosed location, temperature controlled, dehumidifier, then you can get you have your best with clean copper. You have your best access to getting to the right colors. But then again, it's your skill level. Now watch this. You asked me about starting over, so we did. We did everything out of there. So. Now watch the flame on this thing. This is rough. This is really backwoods rough copper coloring. This isn't where we're going. This is just the beginning of it. But you watch the flame on this. Now this is a wide flame, and you'll see later when we got a smaller flame how it's controlled, and it controls the colors even more. But I do this. Now this isn't going to. Well, you can see it's got 2 spots. This is not a. This is there's no. There's obviously there's no heat in the center here. That's why I've got, so I'll have to show this later. But you can see that just by using, without really trying to do anything, you're not even cleaning your copper, you can come up with some really, really cool colors. Now, cleaning, the second thing that we're going to do today is we've made all the parts. And there is an interesting way of doing this. We're going to make a rose. We've got all the parts put together. We're not going through all of that, but the idea here is more about coloring. This color is, Ed's going to be doing this. We're both going to be doing it, I guess. But it's, on this one, you simply heat this thing up. Everything's flat first. And then you start pulling one thing up at a time. And you heat it up until it's literally about to melt. To start melting, and you've got it above the water, and you got it where it's just, and dip it in there. Where the gold colors are, then you capture a deep red in it, and you're capturing that color. Where the gold is where it started to melt, but it kind of looks cool anyway. So we're going to go into that process too after we've done this.
Those sometimes have bug holes in them, don't
they? Yeah, mine do. Okay, now cleaning the copper. Took this last night and cleaned some parts. I made some parts and cleaned them up. And I wire brushed them. Now to really get your clean colors on this thing, this needs to be clean. So this is in this here is sodium bisulfate. It's in a swimming pool. It's I think it's alkaline, but it's a pH minus. It's to take the pH down in the swimming pool. Now, depending on how dirty your copper is, you leave it in there for quite a while. It'll loosen it up, and then you want to.
Sodium what?
Pardon me?
Sodium what?
Bisulfate, pH minus.
Scale off a steel too.
Huh?
You buy it at Walmart.
Thank you.
White powder.
Yeah, they had I didn't see the well. It's I got that at Lowe's.
Plenty of that.
And in here their mixture was 2 gallons to a quarter cup, so I've only got a gallon of distilled. Well, actually, I didn't have to be. It can be tap water when you've got it in the bisulfate to clean it. It can be tap water. This is distilled water to clean this off. The process for cleaning the steel, once you've cleaned this up, so I didn't want to have to spend a whole lot of time cleaning them. So what you've got 2 different wheels here, and if somebody wants this, I've got a .008 wire wheel here, and I forgot what they call this. Is something, and I can tell you what it is, but this is for the rough cleaning of the copper. This wheel here. Okay. Okay. Now I got this as it helps so that you don't tear pieces up. You know, you put this in here, so I put it back on the wire wheel and then I'll take.
Your little apparatus again there.
What's that?
Show us your little shield apparatus.
Oh, this. I'll take it into the distilled water, clean it again. The idea, especially if you're using this rough root wheel, it'll leave a residue on there. And so you definitely want to take the wire wheel, you want to clean it, pickle it, and put it back and then clean it with the distilled water. Brush it one more time. And I don't really need this, so, but I'm going to use it anyway. Get that. Now, water, moisture is the enemy of flame painting. Humidity, wind. And when on the pieces, I just abrased on a stem here only so that I can hold it. And for whatever you're doing with it, you can cut that off, grind it off. You can't burn it off. Sometimes people will use a JB weld to do this, and it's a little bit easier to get it off. But in this case, I wasn't really worried about all. Now, I do stupid things when I'm going to be doing that's okay. It's that wind. I do stupid things when I'm doing demonstrations, and this one of them is the fact that after I had gone to Arkansas, they use propane, and so I bought the torch. You could use this for acetylene and propane. It doesn't really matter, the torch. But I went ahead and got the stuff that I needed to use propane. I never did it until 2 days ago. Now, the reason for using propane is that it's cleaner than acetylene, a good bit cleaner than acetylene. And it's cooler. So your colors don't run as fast. Now, the first thing I'm going to do is it's kind of an oxidizing flame right here, but I'm going to take this. You can see it taking the moisture off of here already. Now, what I'm going to do is take this all the way past all the colors and to give it that oxidation on this. Now, do you see these lines that are forming around the heat? You can see the travel where it travels. You use that to actually draw with. Now, I'm doing this slow only because I think that's the way this torch is going to do it. But you see, I'm going past the colors into this gray. Right, there's your background right there. It's taking you past all the colors. Do what?
Like that's your chalkboard.
Oh, that's right. Yeah, cool. Ed's the only other person I know that's been. You went up there before I did. I think I showed you
You showed that you were experimenting with it long before I.
Well, and that's way before I ever found out about Matthews and stuff. Then I started following them. Now the thing. Oh, I need to turn this on now. Now, you don't want it to get too cool, but there's only maybe 100 degrees difference between the colors. So you want it to cool it off in between colors so that you don't go past it. Now, I'm actually going to be drawing with the long flame, with the soft flame here. In drawing, meaning I'm going to make a design on this thing. Oh, I see what I've done wrong. Okay, that'll work. You can see this where I've taken the colors off. Watch and just, I'm not good at this, so.
I'm bad about getting impatient, and I'll leave my torch on there, try to do too much of it. And that just transfers more heat and it starts growing.
And I don't have any sense of design whatsoever. And what I'm seeing what I didn't think about just then. I have this thing curved down instead of flat, so I'm going to have to work around the edges, work around the curve. I wasn't thinking about that when I put it together, but that's okay. But you can see what's happening here. Oh, yeah. Okay. I'm gonna. All right. I'm gonna. And it's truly, I have very little experience doing this, but I don't have any problems making a fool out of myself on this. But I'll show you what I know. What I meant to do the first time is explain that that you want to start when you're coloring with the hottest colors first. So I should have taken this thing, and I'm going to do it now. There you go. How about that?
You get red and then you get a gold.
Right. And see that spot right there is where it was brazed on there, where my stem is. That's where that spot is.
Like tie-dye.
And so I'm going to go. Now what I'm going to do. I've got these designs in there already, which is okay. We'll just work around it. We can do it again. I'm letting it cool just a little bit. Now I've got something to work with here, maybe. See, this isn't a large audience sort of a thing. This is tedious. But if it appeals to you like it does to me, it's worth the effort. Especially something you can do as an old guy and not have to swing a hammer.
This is a lot of fun doing because you're in July and August. Really like getting out there and beating on real hot steel out here. Or would you rather sit in a shop where it's air conditioned, have a little music going, and you're doing this?
I started playing with flame paint and copper. I'm YouTube certified. I've actually had 3 pieces come out like I wanted them to.
Oh yeah.
I've had about 30. I wound up burning them trying to get certain colors, so I YouTube it, and I started. I actually watched people in Arkansas. I watched their videos probably 50 times, and then there's other people that teach it, but it's hard to understand what they're talking about, the oxidation flame and the neutral flame and all that until you see it, in person.
Brain fart number 2. When you get your colors that you start with, that you're going to start, like I went to that bright blue. What I should have done, I went to the edges again, and I for whatever, that's my habit. But what I should have done was started in the center and maintain this color. But I'm going to do it from here, and we'll just watch what happens. Oops. There we go. Because you're overlaying the colors from the hottest color. you can play a cooler color on top of that because you're not taking the hot color out, and then you can do that cooler colors, and it's see.
Do you have just in your head the color scheme or
No, oh hell no! It'll show you.
the elevation? Like
I could, before we get out of here, remind me of that. I'll tell you what the colors are. I know it starts with the blue, and then, but I've got a chart from that Matthews.
Are they still doing that school?
Yeah, I'm going to go back actually. All right, what's that?
October.
Are you here? The copper. You're actually painting. You're drawing the color. You're drawing the outlines of where you want your colors to be. When you start to color, you want to get a little finer. You want to get it down to a finer.
All right, so pulling making a shorter feather and a shorter tip is a neutral plane.
I don't know if it what's new. Which is that neutral?
You started off with an
Oxygen, high, yeah, and that's now we're taking it down to just to the heat range. So it's
Oxidizing plane, you use that just to
Right.
get your starting.
to lay oxygen on top of the metal, right?
And you cut it down to where it's just like it's a softer overflowing.
Or did you pull the oxygen back, or did you pull the gas back?
I don't know. I just made a smaller flame.
Depends on how you had it.
I'm just screwing around with something I saw last night right here. God, I'm shaky. I guess I should.
You'll notice that on YouTube, a lot of people got YouTube videos doing that.
Exactly.
Oh, I mean, it was amazing how many.
They put it on there and they're just ridiculous.
There's one woman is a Phoenix. What's her Phoenix something? Find her. She does a good job. She studies. She even gives Skip and Rachel the credit. But she does a really good job of doing it slowly, so you see the whole process.
Talk about Skip and Rachel and the artistic talent that you and I don't have.
Yeah,
Rachel is the artistic one. Skip is more technically good. Both of them together, they're amazing. What he can do with it.
Now you tell. I started around the outside edges and cleared it down to the copper. Now I'm going to try something I just saw last night. I got a lot to learn, but you see as it heats up, all the colors start changing, going into the center. And of course, you can just imagine. I went farther here than I meant to, but it's just imagine what it's going to take to how much time it takes to understand how these colors actually work.
And it's a different level, different time on the material every hour because the humidity and everything changes.
Everything, from one day to the next, you're not going to be able to accomplish what you did yesterday. But see, look at this. Look what you could, and just watch it. Now, if I
went around the edges of it first, after the center had cooled off, you went around the edges and then you heated it up. When you went around the edges,
I went around the edges and get it down to the copper, and that's where I wanted. That's what I was trying to just keep the color in there.
Right.
I don't really know how to do that, but it's.
Then you brought it back.
What do you want to do? Keeping that clear, the copper shining.
keep the colors where when he laid the torch beside it and made those little scallops, and then come back and heat it up, keep the color in those scallops.
Yeah, but I'm not doing it. I'm not doing a good job of that at all.
That edge, you can do that at the very last.
This is the last of this one.
So I guess with that gauge, with that thinness of copper, you don't. How much do you worry about whether or not you're going to work harden it later by bending it?
You don't. Well, you're not bending it. That's
You
it.
get all your construction done before you color
Okay.
everything. And because if you start moving it,
Yeah.
it's
You can't anneal it without ruining your colors and stuff. Okay.
Now you get all that out of the way right up front.
I made a coffee spoon out of real thin material like that, and I colored it last. And it actually annealed it a little bit, but I put it over my swedge and just tapped it with a rubber hammer. And it held most of the color. I'm not saying it held it all, but held most of the color, and it stiffened it up.
Use a clear coat or something to keep that protected from just natural oxidation.
You've got two different kinds. You got one that you use to hold that color. What you'll do if you spray that with polyurethane or you have a clear coat, blues are going to turn brown. You just lose it. And there's,
Easy turbo.
There's something that Jim just showed me that made for that. And then there's also something in the automotive light.
Thanks. Color lock, a white. This works pretty good. One of the things we found, like Ed was saying, if once you do the colors on here, you should put a clear coat on it to try to save it. When it takes the colors, it takes a lot of the color out of it, particularly on the purples. It takes them into brown. But then Sculpt Nouveau has created this color lock, and it's for all metals, but it's for copper too. And the idea is to preserve this. So we'll look at this in just a second. But one of the other things I wanted to do was see about if I could. Oh, sorry. Let's see. Get out of that wind. Guy, and put something right down the center. And I let it get too cold. That's what's the problem here.
Ambient temperature.
No, see, everything's heating up too much right now. So I missed the target on that.
Just the window.
Yeah.
Derek, I have made some things and colored them and put my finish on there and had them, they were mounted outside in the weather last at least 2 to 3 summers. Wow. But I'll put 2 coats of this stuff on in my lacquer. Now I'll put about 3 coats.
And now what you'll see is as I didn't let it cool, it started taking some of the colors out. It's going to that hotter colors, which is that blue. Now what I want to do is watch this. I see. I should have let it cool off a little bit too. Yeah, it might have helped.
Yeah.
That's that Enron stuff, right?
Yeah.
Bacon.
Yeah.
Now from here, once I put that clear coat on, I would dip it in the jam lacquer, which will protect it. But let me see how.
If you had that other finger, you can get that open. I'm just messing with you, Mr. Jim.
It's all right. You can do it.
Don't shoot.
You know, I got a cornball redneck joke out of this when I lost that finger.
All right.
You know what it is? You gonna bite?
No.
No? Okay.
I knew that one.
I'm gonna tell it anyway.
That's what I've been trying to accomplish for 2 years.
Well, see, I screwed it all up. I mean, this is.
Well, maybe not that design, just that idea. The
Right.
separation of
Oh
colors.
no, that's, and I'm learning. And when he said 15,000 butterflies, I believe it. You ought to see the control that they have on this. What's that? The Rust-Oleum used to have a clear lacquer that worked exceptionally well. And they quit making it. I guess they quit making it because it worked. All right, you want to try it?
Yeah.
Anybody want to try it?
Come on, Bill.
I mean, you can't do any worse than what I did.
Yeah, I want to try it.
You're not much in keeping the fire, are you? I'm messing.
Do it.
Huh?
Who's gonna try it?
If somebody else wants to do it, they wants to give it a try.